Hello everyone, we are back. Now we gotta head back to the Rising Suns again. As we are trying to figure out how to gain access to this node to get information on tempering. They leave for a moment to deliberate, and Alphino has deleted the node and replaced it with images of Ishtola and the nude. Maybe. He might have also just kept all of the images of Owen as well. I take it you have news to share, so do I. I'm pleased to see your mission was a success, and in no small part due to the bonanza. Kryle's back too. I wonder what was decided at the council. Wonderful news, Miro. Tataru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on the way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should very much like to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryle? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Illard III, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus, aren't they the ones who took in Yotsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Zelos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere with the conflict, and so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they've decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue to explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of the decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Liminsons in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alphino and Ishtola have been called upon to aid them. So long as we're dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable to Indon's respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. I like how their new thing is instead of sending us to the Solar, we have to go to the area that they kept the Scions while they were infirm. Sid, at long last. As important as Gabu is to me, I don't know only too well how much more is at stake here. A cure could change the whole world. I like how the music hasn't stopped from the previous location and is now continuing with the Eternal Wind. Sid! This can't be normal. Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you were up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What was it? Well, that other track finished. Now this one gets to continue. Well, well. A treatment for tempering, and for the next step, you need to find the password to this elegant report. Just so. With nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make a short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating what it might be, that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambos. It contains an elegant dictionary. I could assume the password's a word. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set to work on it right away. Okay, so now I gotta find out if this music's ever going to stop, because I might have to reload. Okay, good, it did. That was actually kind of funny. Looks like it finished. Let's see. Having the music, the sinister music, and then the happy music of Graha. Freedom. The password is freedom. Huh, short and simple, just like I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, my lady. Node, open the report entitled Icon Corruption in Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, the soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. You guys haven't seen this primal yet, but it was one that is in Ancient Alleg. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend, Sephiroth, would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged, or stagnant during the process. The stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner, do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of icon corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at a great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence, I have been stripped of rank and title and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day, someone will undertake and do that which I could not. Find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. Alright, Jeremy. Happy birthday to your mom. So not even the Alligans were able to find a cure. Or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder that motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet we were simply to reanimate the tempered soul. I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would need to somehow suppress the primal's hold of the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining in its thrall. So if we could only make them remember who they were. So there's no point in reviving their souls unless we can also restore their sense of self. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limiting the effect of only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Though, thus restoring the sense of self, we would theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith which had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us identify suitable memories for reanimation. But if you are confident you can adapt memory transference as required, I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you were right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. And perhaps it's better we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics. Which leads me to believe that it may also be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different than how we identified the password. But I'll take more calculating power, a lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure in a dictionary wouldn't keep it from the person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of certain distinguished engineering collective, I believe their motto was freedom through technology, or some such. You two, round up as many matchstick tunnels as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief! Things are about to get very busy. Lucky we have you to help, eh? Right, well, Graha and I configure the terminals. I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have them both, the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers to go on a gathering spree. In that case, I'll trust Miro and Alice with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note to each of you. Promissory. Take them to the Sky Steel Manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. The people there will give you what we need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. Off we go then, back to Ishgard. It's actually been a while since we've been to Ishgard. It was funny because I had a quest to go here in Dawn Trail and was like, man, I forgot. If I hadn't streamed this place recently, I wouldn't have like really remembered it. You stand in the Sky Steel Manufactory. What is it you require? Issued by Garland Ironworks, this promissory note is intended for the purchase of a quantity of ceruleum specified thereupon. So you are after ceruleum. In that case, please present your note to our engineer at the airship landing. He should be glad to assist you. Okay, the airship landing. Alright, hold on. Off we go. Ceruleum? You've come to the right man. Fair warning though, the prices got shot up on account of a certain uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem. It's as good as gold to me.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
I love how Amark's just so excited about everything. Every time we ask for help or, seek his assistance, he's just like, fuck yeah! I'm in.
Who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it. Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
Ask Jessie. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while. Damn it. It's overloading.
Chief! She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There!
I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure. It's just as well. She'll never run again. The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Alright. So we finally have it, the cure for tempering. All that remains is to put it into use. I shall be praying for your success on the front lines. In the end, we didn't have to pay for the terminals, which is great for us, but I can't help but feel for my counterpart in the Ironworks. Alas, the Ironworks crew couldn't linger long. Far too much to do. Yet brief our time was together. It was bloody good to see them. Alright, more food. Forget us not. At long last, we have our cure. In theory, at any rate. We cannot be certain until such time as we put it to the proof, but I am quite quietly confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gabu. His symptoms are relatively mild. I'm fine if... It'll be fine, I'm sure. Yes, as long as we exercise due caution, it will be fine. Without further ado, then, let's make for Limsa. We have Gabu waiting long. We kept Gabu waiting long enough. Sorry. We need to go to Limsa. How come I going? Right. Oh, yeah, those are the upper decks, the aft castle. Alright, before we talk to LSA, we're going to take a break. Then we got about 30 minutes left to stream, so don't go anywhere, guys.